9 bit.
Hello, what's your name?
Guillame Boucher-Vidal.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Boucher-Vidal. My name is Jordan Cameron, and so I'm going to ask you about the game. It's very interesting.
Alright, the name of the game is God Factory Wingmen. It's a 4 vs 4 space competitive combat simulator. And your objective is to destroy the enemy's carrier ship while protecting your own. And you get to customize your ship part by part. So you can choose your wings, your body, your cockpit, your weapons, your abilities, your shields. Like, there's really many different parts to choose from. And it's a little like Magic Gathering where you build your own deck of cards, but you are choosing your parts for your ship. And there's like, you can choose between different roles. So you could have like slow bomber, perfect to attack carrier, or the very fast tricky ship that is pretty good at dogfighting and harassing other players, stuff like that.
So what platforms are you guys aiming at?
For now, we are heading to PC only, but we would like to have opportunities to bring it to console, but it all depends on opportunities because, as you know, like bringing a game to console can be very expensive.
And there's lots of difficulties with programming.
Exactly, and you have, like, often you need a publisher for that, and we're not necessarily comfortable with that kind of deal. So we're gonna see if we have an opportunity, we will do it. But if not, you know, it's all up in the air. We're gonna see.
I think now, so does the game have its sort of the backstory that we can look forward to?
Well, the point behind God Factory Wingman is to introduce people to the God Factory universe, but Wingman by itself will not be a very narrative experience. However, we made sure to have some kind of lore that's more unique. So, for instance, we've got 4 playable species, and one thing I really dislike about science fiction in general is that aliens are just humans with scale, or blue lesbians, or, you know, stupid stuff like that. So there is no other species that actually are humanoid. So you got like the Blossom, which are plant-like creatures who are hooked up to computers because by themselves they can't really move. You got Jordans, which are 20 meters tall creatures. So instead of having ships, they got their own armors, and they look more like I would say they're like more like mechs than ships, like in terms of road. So, like in their case, instead of choosing a cockpit, you choose a helmet, for instance, and stuff like that.
So that sounds very thought out, I must say.
And the last species I haven't talked about are the guantries, which are 3-headed quadrupeds. And these creatures always need a consensus before taking decision and doing stuff. So they are constantly discussing with themselves before like reaching to it. Well, not exactly, because unlike humans, to them disagreeing is not an insult. So they are very balanced, and that can be seen in how their ship are made. Like they've got this center that's floating, and you got 2 wings that are attached by energy fields, and they can switch between 2 modes. So you could have, for instance, one defensive and one offensive mode, and you can switch it according to your situation, stuff like that.
This definitely sounds like a very thought out universe, and we're looking forward to this one. So when will it be available?
It's very hard for me to tell when it's going to be available for purchase. We are looking for maybe a closed beta by the end of August, but I can't commit to that. I'm just like, we are only 6 person working full time on that project, so we really need to, you know, we're not gonna overpromise. We've done it with Brand. We had like a release date, and we had to push it further and further. So we're not gonna commit for a release date only until we are really 100% sure of when it's gonna be out.
I have to say, I'm gonna keep holding out for a release date. So we can follow you guys on Twitter.
Yep, we are. You can. My handle is 9.gbv, and we're also on Facebook, and we are updating our page maybe bi-weekly. So it's definitely the best way to just keep updated about the project.
Excellent. Well, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this one. It's been a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Guillame Boucher-Vidal, and I am the founder of 9 Studio. I'd like to tell you about God Factory Wingmen, our current project. Essentially, it's a 4 vs 4 space combat simulator in which the goal is to destroy the enemy's carrier ship while protecting your own. And the fun part is that you get to build your ship part by part, so you get to choose different wings, cockpit, hull. We have many varying influences such as Armored Core, Freelancer, Star Control, Star Fox, and Ace Combat. So yes, essentially it's a space sim MOBA. In order to take down a carrier ship, which by the way measures 13 kilometers long, you have to take down the vulnerable areas one by one. And destroying these different weak points always come with a different negative effect. So for instance, if I destroy the radar, I will reduce the detection range of the enemy's team. One key point for us was to make a game in which cooperation is absolutely necessary to win, and to enforce this we came up with different mechanics. For starter, the shields of both the carriers and the gunships we control are very resilient. So in order to take down anything, you have to coordinate your fire with the rest of your team in order to destroy it efficiently. In God Factory Wingmen, you are controlling your gunships manually. That means it's not as simple as just pointing in one direction to fly over there. You have to change your pitch, to roll and yaw your ship in order to move in space. There are also special maneuvers that you can use to drift in space and use inertia to move in a way that would not be possible if you were controlling a plane. This is especially fun when you are controlling it using a joystick or maybe a gamepad. To me, the most appealing element of the game is the crazy amount of customization options in how you can build your ship. They are all composed of 12 different parts, and they all have a direct effect on how the ship looks and plays. It's also a very progressive system, so every time you complete a match, you earn money, and then you can use that money to buy new parts. For every match, you bring 2 different gunships. How that works is very similar to the tag team mode that you're gonna see in many fighting games. So when one is out and fighting, the other one is healing over time, and you have to be very careful in how you manage your resources. And it also allows you to share your own ship and borrow the ships of others, so you can really try the different possibilities without having to buy every part by yourself. Every weapon comes with a damage type, and these different damage types can be combined together to create chain reactions. God Factory will feature 4 playable species. These species have unique gunships of their own, with different strengths and weaknesses. And you'll notice that aliens in our universe are not just some humans with funny ears or scales. This may not seem much for a multiplayer game, but if we are successful with this title, we'd like to move on to a single player game with very strong characters and a complex story. Here's the team behind the game. We are 7, and we are all working full-time on this game. We've been doing this for a year now, with no salary to speak of. So as you can guess, our resources are spreading thin, and we can't go on like this forever. So this is why we are asking for your help on Kickstarter. In order to complete the game, we would need $300,000, and this is a lot to ask for. However, with $70,000, we would have enough to bring the game to a good enough state to start selling it in a alpha funding mode, just like Minecraft, Project Zomboid, and Path of Exile did before. There are also different maneuvers that you can trigger, which will allow you to J'ai vu quand t'as teaser. Non, c'est pas grave.